We all see the headlines. How I made my first million by 25. Quit your job, live your dreams. They paint a picture of overnight success, of effortless wealth. But what if I told you that picture is often a carefully curated illusion? What if the real journey to your first million is far messier, far more challenging, and ultimately far more rewarding than any highlight reel could ever show? I'm here to pull back the curtain. This isn't a story about a get-rich-quick scheme. This is the unfiltered, often uncomfortable truth about my journey to that first $1 million. The mistakes, the doubts, the moments I almost gave up. Because the real secret isn't just how I did it, but what it took to become the person capable of doing it. Let's rewind. It wasn't always fancy offices and financial freedom. For years, my bank account hovered dangerously close to zero. I was ambitious, yes, but also incredibly naive. I chased every shiny object, every guaranteed path to success. From drop-shipping fads to half-baked app ideas, I tried it all, and I failed spectacularly. Each failure chipped away at my confidence, leaving me wondering if I was just not cut out for this entrepreneurial life. The dream of $1 million felt like a cruel joke. It was a number so distant, so unattainable, that sometimes I questioned if I was just wasting my time, chasing a fantasy. The late nights blurred into early mornings, fueled by cheap coffee and an unshakable, yet often misguided belief that something had to work. But belief alone wasn't enough. I needed a strategy. I needed a mindset shift. And most importantly, I needed to stop listening to the noise and start listening to myself. The turning point wasn't a sudden stroke of genius or a lucky break. It was a brutal realization. I was approaching success like a lottery ticket. I was hoping for it, not working for it with intention. I was consuming endless content about how to get rich, but never truly implementing anything with consistency or focus. I was a perpetual student, never a master. I decided to stop chasing, stop consuming, and start building. I stripped away all the distractions and asked myself one fundamental question. What problem can I solve for others that I genuinely care about and that I can become exceptionally good at? This wasn't about passion anymore. It was about purpose and proficiency. It was about finding my unique leverage point in the market. For me, that leverage point was digital marketing, YouTube content creation. I realized that my years of scattered attempts had actually given me a broad understanding of what didn't work and a keen eye for identifying genuine needs. I stopped trying to be everything to everyone and focused on becoming indispensable to a select few. This was the moment the game changed. With a clear direction, the real work began. And let me tell you, it was a grind. There were no shortcuts, no magic formulas, just consistent, deliberate effort. I immersed myself in learning everything about my niche. I read books, took courses, found mentors, and most importantly, I practiced. I built prototypes, launched MVPs, minimum viable products, and got them in front of real users as quickly as possible. Failure didn't disappear, it transformed. Instead of soul-crushing setbacks, each failure became a data point, a lesson. I learned to embrace feedback, even when it was harsh. I learned to pivot when necessary, not out of desperation, but out of strategic insight. My days were filled with problem-solving, iterating, and constantly refining my offering. I was no longer just dreaming of $1 million. I was actively building the vehicle that would get me there. The key was consistency, showing up every single day, even when motivation waned, trusting the process, even when results were slow. It was about building momentum, one small win at a time. And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, things started to shift. The first paying client, the first positive testimonial, the first time I saw my work genuinely impact someone else's business or life. Those were the moments that fueled the fire. Scaling up, from solopreneur to system builder. Reaching the first few $1,000s was one challenge. Scaling to $1 million was an entirely different beast. I quickly realized that I couldn't do it all myself. The bottleneck was me. This is where I had to evolve from a solopreneur into a system builder. I started documenting my processes, identifying repeatable tasks, and strategically delegating. I invested in tools and talent. I hired my first freelancer, then my first employee. It was terrifying to let go of control, but absolutely essential for growth. I focused on building a team that shared my vision and could execute with excellence. This allowed me to step back from the day-to-day operations and focus on higher-level strategy, on identifying new opportunities, and on refining our value proposition. The $1 million mark wasn't just a revenue target, it was a testament to building a robust, sustainable system. The $1 million moment. What it really means. The day I hit that first million in revenue wasn't a fireworks display or a sudden epiphany. It was quiet. It was a moment of profound gratitude and a deep sense of accomplishment. But more than the number itself, it was what that number represented. It represented years of dedication, countless hours of learning, and the courage to keep going when every fiber of my being wanted to quit. It wasn't about the money in my bank account. It was about the person I had become in the process. The resilience, the problem-solving skills, the ability to lead, to inspire, to create something from nothing. That, my friends, is the true wealth. The financial freedom it provided was a byproduct of personal growth, not the other way around. It also taught me that success isn't a destination. It's a continuous journey of learning and adaptation. The landscape is always changing, and what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. The real challenge isn't just making the first million, but sustaining and growing beyond it, always staying curious, always staying hungry. Lessons learned, the unconventional wisdom. So, what are the real, unfiltered lessons I learned on this journey? Not the platitudes you hear everywhere, but the hard-won truths. First, embrace the messy middle. The journey is rarely linear. Expect setbacks, embrace them as learning opportunities, and understand that growth happens in the struggle. Second, focus on value, not just profit. Your first million will come from solving a significant problem for a significant number of people. Obsess over your customers and their needs. Third, build systems, not just products. To scale, you need repeatable processes. Document everything, automate what you can, and delegate effectively. Fourth, mindset is everything. Your biggest obstacle will often be your own limiting beliefs. Cultivate resilience, self-belief, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. And fifth, the power of consistency. Small, consistent actions compound over time. Don't underestimate the power of showing up every single day. And sixth, seek mentorship, but forge your own path. Learn from others, but don't blindly follow. Your journey is unique, and your solutions should be too. These aren't just abstract ideas. They are the bedrock upon which sustainable success is built. They are the principles that transformed a confused dreamer into someone who achieved what once seemed impossible. Your journey to your first million, whatever that looks like for you, starts now. It won't be easy. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and perhaps even despair. But if you commit to the process, if you embrace the grind, and if you relentlessly focus on providing value, you will not only reach your financial goals, but also discover a strength and capability within yourself you never knew existed. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for all the answers. Start small, start imperfectly, but start. The world is waiting for your unique contribution. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered truths about entrepreneurship, and let me know in the comments, what's your first million going to look like? What problem are you going to solve? Until next time, keep building, keep learning, and keep pushing your limits. Your future self will thank you.